What's up, spectators? Welcome back to another episode of Ace Attorney Investigations 2. Last time, we were bouncing around testimonies between Blaze and Courtney. Oh, I blanked on her name for a second. But now it looks like we're back to Blaze with new testimony, so let's see what he has to say. You've been rambling on for quite a while about the most trivial details, you know? See? Like the location of the murder, the order of the wounds, and... what else was there? It just doesn't matter, you know? Cause you see, none of that means anything, you know? Think about it. We got the suspect herself saying she killed the victim. That's all that matters, you see. She'll even get a lighter sentence with her confession, you know. Get it, lighter? Now then, if there are any contradictions, be my guest. How can that be considered testimony? There must be a contradiction somewhere. That person, he's very important, isn't he? Nah. Mr. Edgeworth, it's alright. Let's just give up. Okay. Surely I must have killed her. I can even remember it. Don't be tied down by your muddled memories. If you want to believe in something... believe in your own innocence. Believe in me who believes... oh, no, you did not say that. Oh my god, you said it. But... my opponent is the PIC, chairman. Taking him down won't be easy. He has underestimated me. If I can take advantage of that. Of being underestimated? That's not really a strategy. Whoa, when did I lose all my health? Oh god, was that last video? Alright, you've been rambling on for quite a while. If these trivial details create contradictions in the case, we cannot call it the truth. It's fine as long as the rest of the case makes sense, you know. Every case is going to have a small contradiction or two, you see. But if we get bogged down by the details, we won't be able to arrest the criminal. Trials would go on forever, you see. You of all people should understand, you know? I don't. That's why I'm asking you. Ah, young folks these days. Anyways, you're rambling on about stuff. Like the location of the murder, the order of the wounds, and blah blah blah. The autopsy report, and the questions about the conductor. Were you even listening? Talk is cheap, you know. I was listening, you see, but I didn't think much of it, you know? You didn't think much of it, even after I brought up all those issues. Perhaps your judgment needs to be questioned, rather than my ability as a prosecutor. That's a good one, Edgeworth. But you see, you know... it just doesn't matter, you know, because you see, you know... How can you say it doesn't matter? Are you trying to suppress the truth? Well, you see, it simply doesn't matter as much as you say it does, you know? You see, Edgeworth, you're only saying it matters to avoid the real issue here, see? Think about it. We got the suspect herself saying she killed the victim. It may be true she confessed, but that does not make it the truth. She is suffering from memory loss, so we must question the credibility of her testimony.
Objection.
Ew. Even if you say that, you know, it still won't solve anything. What good will it do to deny her confession? Sounds like nonsense to me. Wanna try asking her again? I think she'll just say that she's the murderer again, though. Very well. Let's try asking her again one last time. I'd like to hear from Kay herself, whether or not she is the culprit. Me? Will that be alright? If this goes poorly, it'll be quite unfavorable for you. I don't mind. However, I shall ask Kay the question myself. I'm moved to tears, you know. Oh, how touching, you know. How very touching, you see. Fine then, I'll let you ask her. But I have one condition. If all this proves to be a waste of time... bum ba bum. Then that will be the end of it. How's that sound? The end of the hearing? Yes, yes, it seems you can be smart once in a while, Sebastian. In other words, you see, if she confesses again, Kay Faraday will be found beyond a shadow of a doubt. G-U-I-L-T-Y. Yep, it's a fine idea. That's right. That's harsh. But either way, if I do nothing, she'll be declared guilty. I know what I'm asking of you is unreasonable, but please, I want you to answer me. It doesn't matter how tiny it is. Do you remember anything? Anything that would prove your innocence? Why'd you go that far with me? Oh, we're gonna do this thing, are we? Okay. Because you're my friend and I care about you. You're going through so much trouble. Oh, but I care about you, Kay, because we're friends. We're gonna go do that whole thing, okay. I can't do it. I'm too scared to remember. I might have done something even worse. If that were the case, I would only make things worse for you, Mr. Edgeworth. Kay Faraday must have been a despicable criminal. Despicable! Someone who betrayed your trust. Nah. We've only known each other for a short while. But I know you very well. I'd even say that I know you better than yourself now that you've lost your memories. Wow, that's a penalty. But it's not the whole health bar, so... You cannot possibly be the culprit because your true identity is your true identity. As the Yanagarasu? But why is that relevant? It isn't relevant. I guess he'll tell us why in a second, but I can't think of a reason how this proves she's innocent.
Take that!
Or is it because, like, oh, that's why. Because you're this amazing thief! You couldn't have... Okay. We're trying to boost her self-esteem. The great thief Yanagarasu. The Yanagarasu is a noble thief who would never stoop to murder. Oh. It's useless. After all, my eye is going crazy. No matter what, that memory still remains. This image that's stuck in my head. I just can't get rid of it. That means I must have.
Hold it!
There's no clear evidence to prove that you're the culprit, besides your own confession. Remember what I said? You must believe in yourself. Or perhaps, you cannot trust my words? No, that's not it. It's because you are trying to save someone like me. You've already lost so much. All for my sake. I can't bear it anymore. Please just give up. Oh dear, this whiny version of her. I see now. I thought it was strange. I understand showing a sensitive side, a sensitive amnesiac side of Kay. But for her to just be this person consistently throughout this entire case. The reason you were acting like you wanted to be found guilty was because you were concerned about me. That's just like you, Kay. See, I told you this was gonna happen. It's because you're a good person, Mr. Edgeworth. Unfortunately, I may fall short of your expectations. I'm not trying to be a good person. No matter how much you may want to give up, I'll keep trying to save you. That is the nature of who I am. Whether or not it is a burden for you is none of my concern. Believe in yourself once more. You're a noble, great thief. What you should be doubting is your memory of committing the murder. That is my wish above all else. Looks like a guy. Okay. That's how she screams, you see. What? Did you remember something? If she remembers something now, it'd be like a bad movie. Buh. Edgeworth. Please ask her to clarify. Dear Lord, what's wrong with me today? Please ask her to clarify. I can do this. I can do this. I'll believe in the Edgeworth that believes in me who can read the dialogue. What do you mean by bull? I remember now. The person in the red raincoat had that with her. The stuffed bull doll. I'm certain of it. I don't know why the music's getting so exciting, because it doesn't help me at all yet. At least I don't think it does. Is that true, defendant? Yes, Your Honor. The court hereby accepts the defendant's statement as a new piece of testimony.
Objection.
Quit messing around, Courtney. A testimony like that cannot be accepted, you know? Your objection has been noted, sir. However, a testimony about the victim's belongings has been lacking up until now.
Objection.
Nevertheless, you know, her vague memories cannot be trusted, you know? Her memories are vague? That'd be bad for us as well. Didn't you say this earlier yourself, Mr. Chairman? Since we have the suspect's confession, we don't need to worry about the trivial details. If we decide to doubt her memories, then we must also doubt her confession, which is the main foundation of our case. Are you willing to do that, sir? Ah, you're right. Well, never mind then. I shall leave it to you. We did it. It was touch and go, but we proved nothing. However, those words of Judge Courtney just now, it almost feels as if she's on our side. Well, yes. The moment you saw her in the interrogation room like 1 or 2 videos ago, you knew. Do you know anything about this stuffed animal? The stuffed animal Kay spoke of must be this. We found it in the storeroom. It's believed to be one of the items for the auction. This is... Do you know something about it, Justine? No, it's just a bit different from what I imagined. Indeed, it's certainly not what I would have expected the victim to be carrying. Okay. The right horn seems to be fine, but the entire balance feels a bit off. This horn looks like you can move it. Ooh. What was that buzzing sound? It seems this toy is equipped with a recording device. And... I knew who you were right away. You can't hide that bird from me. Almost like a song. Silence! I've been waiting for my chance to get revenge all this time. Oh, it's gone. Is this the moment of the murder? Who could have recorded something like this? This is... There ain't no doubt about it. This here was what I heard. We cannot verify when these voices were recorded. It's also possible that they aren't related to the case at all. If only we had some video as well. That's hogwash, I'm telling you, that right there was the conversation that I heard. The victim was holding on to it, right? I reckon it must have been recorded when she got attacked. That certainly is a possibility, but your testimony alone is insufficient. I require something with a little more credibility. Again, her words. It almost sounds as if she's trying to give me advice. Courtney, there's no mistake that those voices were from the incident. Please recall the audio that was recorded by the stuffed animal that we just heard. I knew who you were right away. You can't hide that bird from me. You can't hide that bird from me. If we compare this part of the recording with a certain piece of evidence, we can prove it. This evidence shows that the recording took place during the moment of the crime. So we just gotta find a photo or something of the burned hand, which is of the victim, which is maybe the autopsy report. The autopsy report, if it does show her hand. It does show her hand, but is this the best piece we have? Yes? God, we have a lot of evidence. Okay, we're back to the beginning. Yeah, that's absolutely the best one. Go back to the autopsy report.
Take that!
The autopsy report. And exactly what part of the autopsy report shows that? This part shows that the recording took place during the moment of the crime. Wait, what? Oh, okay. I saw a burn mark. Burn.
Take that!
I remember clearly what the voice said. You can't hide that burn from me. On the victim's hand, there was a burn mark. Indeed, it just happened to match up, you see, but what of it? According to case testimony, the victim had been holding the stuffed animal, and it just happened to record a characteristic of the victim, namely, the burn. That's just a coincidence. I mean, it can happen, right? I do not think so. It is hard to believe that all this is simply a coincidence. The voices on the stuffed animal were most likely recorded during the incident. One of these voices must belong to the true culprit. From what we've heard, it must have been the one who was doing most of the talking. But what's the point? In the end, we still can't tell their gender or identity, you know. Indeed, because they had been using voice changers. It can't be helped. It seems the situation has become quite clear. The conversation Miss Hart overheard was between the culprit and Miss Crane. That's what I've been telling you from the start. And from this, we will understand a new fact. Please enlighten us then. I trust you have no objections, Mr. Chairman. I don't care. According to Miss Hart's testimony just before the incident, 2 people came up from the auction hall, using the lift. It must have been the conductor and one of the auction guests. They probably went there to settle the payment after winning a bid. And then, it was there that the crime was carried out. Since the auction continued after the crime took place, we are led to a single truth. This is the new fact that we have arrived at. Let's see. So she was... No, the culprit being Jill Crane makes no sense. Because the culprit saw the burn. We already established before that the victim wasn't the conductor. We thought it was the conductor because of her clothes. The culprit is the conductor. But that would mean the culprit killed her, swapped the clothes. Right? That's what it means, doesn't it? Does it? I'd say it's a 50-50 between this and the victim was the conductor, even though I'm pretty sure we said it wasn't the case. So she is the conductor. Since the conductor was the only one who would keep the auction... Oh, that's because the auction's consistently going. That makes sense. We can conclude that the deceased victim could not have been the conductor. Shut up! If the conductor was not the victim, then they must have been the culprit. Please wait. That alone is insufficient. Of course! Even I do not intend to rely upon the process of elimination. Certain traces left at the crime scene led me to believe that the culprit is the conductor. Well then, please show it to us. What were the traces left at the crime scene that let me deduce the culprit is the conductor? What were the traces left at the crime scene that let me deduce the culprit is the conductor? Okay, hold on. The only thing left at the crime scene were those 2 piles of blood. But how does that help us? The only reason I know it's blood is because they very specifically said, traces, crime scene. Only one thing was left at the crime scene, especially that's traces. There weren't fingerprints, so it's blood, but why is that important? Oh, wait, is it this one? Or is it, no, that's not, wait. Or is it the pool of blood found in the meeting room? Hide the storeroom, oh, wait a minute. A pool of blood found in the meeting room? Was it left behind to hide the storeroom's existence? Okay, this is interesting. Because this is good to show that they were trying to cover up the existence. But then there's the blood on hidden lift, which is, where the crime scene was. I'm gonna go with this one first. Okay, so this isn't it. Okay, okay. So it must be the other blood stain. Got it, okay.
Take that!
Okay, yeah, it's that blood stain. The culprit purposely left a large amount of blood in the meeting room. In doing so, we were led to believe the meeting room had been the scene of the crime. It was a ruse by the true culprit to hide the blood that had fallen from the storeroom, so we wouldn't find out about the existence of the black market auction. If the culprit had been unrelated to the auction, there would have been no need to do such a thing. Ergo, the culprit could have only been the conductor. Well then, do you have any idea as to who the conductor might possibly be? The auction hall is at the PIC meeting room, and furthermore, there is a storeroom above it. The conductor must have been, at the very least, a member of the PIC. So, in other words, you suspect me, I take it. Isn't it natural to suspect you, the one with the most authority in the PIC?
Objection.
You are quite capable. Capably. I'll give you that much at least. But you know, like I said before, you're far too naive. You have nothing, you know. There's no evidence that proves I am the culprit. You see. If by some chance you do have evidence, then why don't you present it? Do I have evidence that Blaze is the culprit? That is very specific. And typically when it comes to something like, do you have it? Yeah. Usually when it comes to questions like this, you do have evidence, but they do throw you a curveball every now and again. In every Ace Attorney game, there's at least 1 or 2 decisions where it's actually I don't. And when it comes to, because we barely have enough evidence that shows it'll be a PIC member, but for it to specifically be Blaze, that's way too much. It can't be. I don't have it. I'm curious what happens if I say I do have it, though, because my health bar's gone. Blaze himself has suggested that he is the criminal. He's been showing that strange self-confidence for a while now. He knows that there's not a single piece of evidence left behind to incriminate him. If you play with fire, you're gonna get burned, Edgeworth. Just kidding. I always wanted to say that, you know. Well then, Courtney. I reckon I just remembered something too. You also lost your memories? That ain't it. Something just sorry. Something just popped into my head right now. Very well. Please tell us.
Objection.
Oh, that's so grating. That voice is so grating. I don't like this. It's my least favorite objection. It sounds like the same guy who does Ray Shields' objection, except coarser. Because the Ray Shields one is objection. And then this one is, it's like a very grainy, you just add a bunch of noise to the already existing Ray Shields objection. Could you tell me what you're doing? Edgeworth will not give up until we've destroyed every last possibility. I'm destroying every possibility, so that he'll never oppose us again. I don't really know what's going on, but well said. Pops, I'm gonna help too. After all, he's the one who's wrong. Fine then. Let's hear what she has to say. Well then, Miss Hart, please proceed. Sure thing, just leave it to me. Please make sure you only tell the truth. And with that, let's end this video here. So stay tuned for the next one, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye!